Hello everyone, Dan 14th Prime here. Want to do a video share out today with you guys on the Transformers Studio Series number 32. This is the Voyager class Optimus Prime. Cool gimmick of this toy here is he can combine with the Leader class number 35 Jetfire, so he can make the powered up Jetfire Optimus Prime. Check that video out back on my channel. That's a very cool feature in this toy line. Today we'll just be looking at Optimus Prime here alone. If you're interested in the box and the pack out and what's in the box, be sure to follow my Instagram, same handle, Dan14th Prime. All of that's out there and more. If you're interested in picking this figure up or any Transformers, whether you want to be the first one to have it or just buy it when you see it at a good price, be sure to follow my Amazon page. Again, linked in the description below. I picked this guy up off of Amazon for 30 bucks. Any shopping you do through those links supports the channel at no cost to you and is very much appreciated. Alright, now that we've seen Prime in his signature Battlefield Legend pose, let's jump in closer and check this figure out. Let's do an overview and comparison of Studio Series number 32 with the original Studio Series number 5 Optimus Prime there on the right. Of course, this new figure is a retool of that prior release. You can definitely see they've lightened up the colors with more metallic red, metallic blue over here, whereas over here we have a very traditional red and blue scheme. You see a lot of similarity, a little bit of retool here at the leg, definitely some changes here in the chest and through the windshield and the midsection. Also through the forms, which have gotten bigger. Also with the chest, the way the head elevates a bit off of the shoulders, seems to make him a bit taller. On the side here, you can see some different angles, again with a retool of this lower leg here. This is needed for the combination feature with Jetfire, similar with the port up here on the shoulder. If we get his arm up out of the way, you'll notice a different front wheel system, much more streamlined on the new figure, which looks great and works well for bot mode. Makes it suffer a bit, I think, in terms of the sturdiness in truck mode. And then big improvements around back. I mean, just the way the tanks look, the way they sit, the way the backpack folds up better. Big strides in the back end of this figure. Also, as pointed out here and there, this figure has been retooled to accommodate the combination with Jetfire. This figure over here cannot do that. See my Jetfire combination video if you want to see all the details on that. Do a quick up-close pan here. You can check out the head sculpt. Looks to be basically the same head sculpt, just painted with lighter silver paint than the original. Still works and still a good looking head sculpt. I do like the way they sort of elevated it off the shoulders there, so it sticks up over his shoulders and makes him a little taller. I think the whole window and door section through the chest is good. You know, it's got a little more complexity in there with the blue door and then the main windows, things like that. Looks cool. To note, this chest piece here, for whatever reason, it's removable. And again, down the figure, otherwise not a lot changed. Again, the cleaner hips look really good. Decent job with the legs down into the feet. Definitely think that profile looks good with the head being a bit higher, helps seeing over the shoulder. Overall, pretty clean. Not too bad with the backpack there, protruding. You get some kibble on the arms bare, but it's all right. And then again here, this back section, which I think is really well done with the tanks. And pretty clean down the back of the leg as well. As I've said in all these Studio Series videos, I mean, the scale is very cool. And here's just a select menu, your biggest leader class there, the new Jetfire over there, and Ironhide, just for some reference point, but again, he's basically the same scale and size as the prior Prime. And Optimus does come with this gun, which you saw him holding in the beginning of the video. Some nice kind of burn detailing around the front barrel of the gun from the blaster effect. Looks pretty cool, and it's pretty well filled in all the way around. Articulation on Optimus remains good. Shoulder will spin all the way around. Will raise up and the shoulder pad accommodates it. He's got a bicep swivel up there. Got an elbow that'll give you a little more than 90 degrees. The head up here, spins around. Can look down a bit. Can look up. And like I said, it'll spin side to side pretty well. You can, he's got a waist swivel there. You kind of need to manage the wheels and then just the flaps back here, but you can definitely spin his waist around, I think, and get enough articulation there. Then at the thighs, again, the wheels sometimes you need to manage, but through the splits pretty much kicks out and back pretty dang far. He's got a thigh cut up there. Got a knee that goes, well all the way up. And he's got an ankle rock, which unfortunately mainly rocks to the outside, but goes to the inside a bit. Articulation overall is pretty good on this figure. So let's go ahead and transform Optimus. The instructions are terrible. I think they just do too much detail before you really need to get into the main movements. So I'm going to do this my own way. which might drive you nuts if you want to do it by the instructions, but I think this is a simple way to do it. All right, so let's start just by pulling down the side wheels here. It's going to make this set of wheels in the rear. Flip up the leg. You know, a lot of this is quite similar to the original number 5 Studio Series. Make the back of the truck here. And yes, of course, these peg together like this. Up here, I just like to kind of get everything out and out of the way. So kind of start to get the chest popped open a bit. Start to get the backpack popped off. Front wheels here. Kind of get those out of the way. Flip these down. Flip this out and down. So I'm just kind of unpacking everything. Unpegging the shoulder and getting these things out and down into the front. And then we got to flip out a bunch of stuff from the back here as the original. So a couple side panels with tanks on them there. And then a couple back panels here as well. So I just kind of have unpacked everything, prepped it a bit, if you will. Let's give the waist a turn and set it back. And then you'll notice what's happening here is the waist just sort of breaks off right there. So you get a hard 90-degree angle. So make sure you do that. Start to just guide the front wheels forward a little bit. You know, you can see how this is going to come together. And I prefer this because it kind of gets me better oriented in terms of what I need to do. Let's take the head and just flip it back, and then I'll snap across. Let's take these windows here and flip these back and see how it makes the blue panel. So flip those all the way back. And that is going to make your blue side panel there. And then these red front windshields just tuck in behind, like so. And you put that side panel back there. So come underneath. I always find this is the best orientation for me. You want to flip up the blue shoulder pads. So you want these down and flipped all the way back. You can see they flip on their side because there's a hinge right here. So flip those down to their side and get those wide. And hinge that in and get it nice and wide. You might be tempted to kind of groove those in there, but don't do it. Get them outside of all of that. Now up here at the shoulders, there's a peg. Just flip off this wrist armor stuff. And you'll see pegs here on the forearms that, of course, are going to go together for you. And now, flip the wrist back. And I like to do palm down. Put the palm facing the back and flip the wrist up. And now when you come to the hood, you'll find it just sits right on top there. And there is a peg. When you flip these forward, there's a peg right here in this silver section that pegs into the hood. So you've done this. Let's try to give you this orientation. This is what it looks like. Blue parts back, arms up, silver piece out. Hood is now like this. Now you can just fold up the hood, fold it back. There's some hooks here that go underneath the windows. I find if they don't go straight back, kind of split the hood and then put them in separately and then pinch the hood back together. Best way to get that flush up there. Come around to the front here. What's happening is our wheel panels are coming together. And we just close the grill up around it. So there you go. Now here, we can come back to the side tanks, put those forward, same as before. Put those forward, they kind of flip back, lock like that. These are now the front wheels, and this is the stability piece. This really got flimsy versus the prior version. Really just a peg right here that's going to go on the back end of that wheel well. Just kind of push that up and in. I've got one that pegs pretty well and one that is really loose and doesn't peg so well. And now it's just the roof. And I will say these are some just plastic nubbed areas that have a tendency to pop off. Here too sometimes, plastic nubbed area sometimes pops off. So these are the only two areas where I've had problems like that. Unpeg the backpack if it hasn't yet. That will just sort of rock forward and fill in the roof peg in there. Here, this is going to be our side panel. So you can see how that's going to start to flip down. And then you have to rotate these side panels just like this. As it goes down, it's just going to want to naturally rotate forward. And then they just kind of fill up in it. And that's it. That's the movements. Again, a lot of panels. But overall, pretty similar to Studio Series number 5. So here we have Optimus in truck mode. Still a nice looking truck. I definitely think the colors work a bit better. Nice and clean. Still got the flames on there. Nice silver rims this time as well. I think the fuel tanks definitely look good too. So yeah, I think overall, Voyager class truck there. Very, very similar to Studio number 5, and we'll compare the two. But a little bit of improvements, and the transformation probably just a bit more complicated than what we saw in the prior version. So here the two are side by side. You can see basically the same length. See the color differences there. Again, I think the chrome on the wheels looks really good. Tanks much more improved. And if anything, I think the new transformation and tooling makes it kind of suffer through here a bit. You can see this sort of stuck out like a nice step into the door. Now you don't have that. You have a bit of what almost looks like a gap there. Everything's just pushed in a bit further. Around back, you can see despite the major differences in the backpack, it comes together pretty much the same as the prior version. Then head on here, you can see the difference of, the chrome grille versus this kind of gray or gunmetal they were using before. We'll say a little nice color on the Autobot logo on the original that we didn't get this time around. And because of those bigger forearms, I think you get a wider hood section than you do on the prior version, bigger grille because of that as well, which I think helps the proportions of the truck overall. Let's give you a bit of the up-close overview there. There's not a lot of molded detail, but there's some. But nice flames there on the hood. Again, the rims look really good. The tanks and all this, definitely good. A lot of nice molding here actually through the smokestacks. They could be longer probably. And then, rivets and things kind of through some of the doors. So you see some molded detail through there. The tires got some molded detail on them as well. Come around top, this sort of makes a trailer type section. Would be cool if they ever gave us the weapon trailer that he had in the movies. Top of the truck here, again, accent lights, painted a bit with silver. Front of the grill up close there, a lot of good molded detail in that grill. Then the underside of the figure here, everything folds in and tucks away pretty cleanly, I think. It's a good transformation, relatively complex. At least enough to be satisfying. So there you have it, guys. Transformers Studio Series number 32, Voyager class Optimus Prime. A nice upgrade over the prior release version number 5, or Studio Series number 5. And again, he combines with Leader Class Jetfire, so check out my Instagram, same handle, Dan14th Prime, for some pics of that, or go back to the channel and check out that video separately. Again, if you're interested in picking this figure up, check out my Amazon page, linked in the description below. As always, if anything on the channel is ever helpful to you, the easiest way to say thanks is just jump through those links and do any of your shopping. Supports the channel at no cost to you and is very much appreciated. All right, guys, thanks for checking in. See you next time.